Welcome to Ultimate Survival Gear. Today, as you can see, I have something. Well, let's open up the box and see what it is in this incognito box in front of you, because these are the all new Woodland 2 Texapore. Yes, from Jack Wolfskin. And I gotta say, I reviewed the Woodland 1, the version 1, and I was really impressed. First of all, this is my favorite type of boot, right? Mid-size, waterproof. It's really hard to go wrong. But for this price, which for these ones, the newer ones, because they're a newer model, the price is a little bit steeper. It's currently $129 on Amazon. The link for the Amazon is in the description below if you want to check it out further. But I recommend watching the whole review before you get into doing that, because this is not a regular boot review. No, this review is specifically for my ultimate survival boot section. Yes, basically if something bad happened while you were wearing this boot, or maybe you had them in the house and something bad happened and you put them on and now you were surviving. You weren't just hiking outdoors, you know, relaxing, enjoying the scenery, but something bad happened and you were surviving. You had to walk for miles and miles, you had to run along the way, you had to, I don't know, fight somebody, climb, I don't know. Think about your survival situation. Would this boot help you survive? Or would it get you killed? Well, how do we make the judgment? We make the judgment based on 8 different criteria. Let's begin with the criteria number 1. Comfort level, one of the most important ones, of course. And if you've been subscribed to the channel, you already know that in order to test the comfort level, I do a 3-mile run and then a 5-mile walk. And then I continue wearing the boots or shoes, whatever I'm testing, for the rest of the day, so that the total wear, so the wear time is 8 hours. That gives me an equal kind of a baseline for testing everything, so that I'm not biased, or you know, I wore something a little bit longer than the other and I kind of have confused opinions. No, everything is judged equally on this channel. And I gotta say, this comfort level of this boot right here is very impressive. There are a few things that contribute to the comfort level. Let's start with the first one, of course, the weight. Now, got my scale over here, and let's see exactly how light or heavy these are. Now, I would say this should be about 16 ounce, but sometimes I'm quite off. So let's see exactly. This is, by the way, size 10. 15.2. Now I'm definitely off, but in a good way. I am over. I definitely overestimated. 15.2. I gotta say, this is very impressive weight for a mid-size waterproof. Now, whenever it comes to the weight, to kind of give you reference numbers, usually I recommend if you're shopping around in this category, right? Mid-size waterproof. I recommend trying to find something that is under 20 ounce. The more under 20 ounce, obviously the lighter it feels. You know, a little bit over, you know, 21, 22 is not bad, especially if you're compromising for some cool features like BOA lacing system, something like good protection, maybe in the toe box, something extra, you know, in the outsole. It depends on what you're looking for. But the golden rule, I would say, around 20 ounce. This is well under, and it definitely shows, definitely contributes to the comfort level. There's another thing that helps with the comfort level, and it's the flexibility of the outsole. And here, as you can see, there's definitely some flexibility, so you can actually run without any problems. And not just run, you can properly run in these boots, which is surprising. Usually not the case for boots, but definitely the case for these ones. Also, I wanted to point out that the creasing spots here are very soft. They don't create any unnecessary pressure points. So overall, so far so good. Let's talk about the inner sole now. I'm going to take it out and demonstrate it to you so you can see exactly how it looks. I gotta say, nothing crazy over here. For the most part, it's, you know, there's decent amount of cushioning. It's more on the flimsy side. So yes, you can see that there is kind of a heel bed, there's kind of a arch support, but because it's super soft like this, there isn't really much point from this. Not bad, but again, if you prefer more defined heel bed, more defined arch support, this might not exactly be for you. But overall, not bad at all, don't get me wrong. Let's move on to the cushioning. As you can see, the tongue here is nicely cushioned. Plenty of cushioning here in the shaft, which is very, very nice. Definitely contributes quite a lot to the comfort level. The heel is cushioned and going throughout the whole boot. Overall, the fabric is so soft. So, I mean, it's really, really soft on the inside. So if you prefer a very nice soft feel, you definitely going to appreciate this boot. Overall, I have to say, Jack Wolfskin, I mean, I was impressed with the comfort level of the Woodland, their first version. The second version, not lacking at all. Okay, let's move on to the criteria number 2 now, which is proofing and protection. So for waterproofing, Jack Wolfskin implemented here Texapore. Now personally, I haven't had any kind of problems with the waterproofing with Texapore. It's not as fancy as, for example, your Gore-Tex, right? But again, keep in mind, with fancy Gore-Tex comes fancy price tag. This is more affordable side, so definitely not too shabby. I wanted to point out the tongue gusseting over here. As you can see, you can kind of see the waterproofing liner going around here, but because it's black, it kind of blends in, so it might be hard to see it on the camera. You can see it right here. But the gusseting here goes as high as the tallest part of the shaft, which is pretty good. It's just, you know, it's smart. They use not the whole length of the shaft, but the tallest part of the shaft is right here. It's open, obviously, to kind of give you a little bit more comfort. So they compromised a little bit on waterproofing clearance. For the comfort, it's more of a personal preference. Would you rather have more clearance for waterproofing or more comfort? It depends on your application and your personal preference. Here, more comfort than the clearance. Okay, so let's move on to the protection now, still in the criteria number 2. Here you kind of see this reinforcement kind of going in the toe box. Not much though, I gotta say. It's still very, very soft, so don't drop anything, you know, heavy on your toe. Obviously you have plenty of the protection in the shaft here with all this padding, and the heel is nicely reinforced. Now the outsole, we will talk about that later, but you do have some protection from the outsole. It's very good quality rubber. Let's move on to the criteria number 3 now, quality and the design features. Quality wise, Jack Wolfskin, it's the brand that I kind of recently, probably about 6 months ago, I got into this brand. I have not reviewed anything before that. And since then, I reviewed probably 5 or 6 maybe different models from Jack Wolfskin. And I gotta say, if it used to be Columbia, my favorite budget-friendly brand, now it's definitely Jack Wolfskin. It's way better than Columbia. So if you are trying to save money and you're kind of experimenting with your outdoor activities, you kind of want to get into the hiking, but you're not ready to spend, you know, $200-300 for something fancy like La Sportiva or whatever fancy outdoor people prefer. Salomon, La Sportiva. I mean, they do have some more or less budget friendly. But if you're looking for stuff with Gore-Tex, you're looking, you know, at, you know, pretty steep price tag. Something like this is a really, really good option. And like I said before, it used to be Columbia. Now it's definitely Jack Wolfskin. Definitely blows the Columbia out of the water by the quality, by the comfort, by the features. They just, you know, they know what they're doing. And you can judge by the reviews. I mean, this is a new model. It just came out, so there's not a lot of reviews on Amazon just yet. But if you look at the previous models, you will see that there's plenty. So they're all almost 5 stars. Let's talk about the design features. Here I talk about the lacing system. Lacing system here is great, just like I like it. Very nice, stiff, thin, round strings. Yep, laces or strings, whatever, whatever you want to call them. But here, as you can see, they're just designed to be as lightweight as possible. So you just have these kind of in fabric 4 pairs of hooks. Then there is this fancy looking orange, again, fabric hook for lightweight. And then there is a reinforced with the ring, which is very nice and very smart. Again, it shows that these people, they know what they're doing, because most of the tension, most of the times, comes at the very top part of the lacing system. All right, done with the criteria number 3. Let's move on to the criteria number 4 now, outsole traction and stability. So whenever I do the running and the walking, I do it on a variety of different surfaces. Some asphalt, tarmac, whatever, pavement, whatever you call it again, dry sand, dry grass, wet sand, wet grass, rocky road, trail surface, obviously, concrete, marble, tile, just bunch of everything. And I gotta say, this outsole is really good. First of all, it's very nicely balanced. As you can see, for the most part, it's pretty flat, right? It doesn't, it doesn't look too aggressive or anything like that. But these grooves right here, they provide plenty of aggression if you are walking or running through wet, slippery surface, for example, like wet grass. Definitely enough of a bite to give you a good stable, all right? Very nice traction. I gotta say, this outsole is fantastic. It's very simplistic, so whenever you're walking or running through, sand or mud, there is really nothing where the sand or mud can get stuck, so you don't really lose that traction and you don't gain any unnecessary weight on your feet. Overall, Jack Wolfskin did a great job with this outsole, and also it provides great amount of protection because the quality of the rubber, which is a huge advantage over Columbia. This is one of their main disadvantages, I would say. The rubber that they use for the outsole is just, it's not a good quality, first of all. Second of all, it's been kind of losing quality over the past couple years in their most newer releases and older models too. Like, for example, I used to have a Newton Ridge, and I had them for a long time, and they were absolutely fantastic. And then I bought the Newton Ridge again, and it was completely different quality. It was just terrible quality, even though it was exactly the same model. Weird. But anyway, let's move on to the criteria number 5 now really quickly. Temperature. Obviously, these are not winter boots. They're not designed for cold temperature. Can you use them in a cold temperature? Yeah, absolutely. Nothing crazy, it's 30 degrees Fahrenheit. You can definitely get away. Some mild snow, absolutely. I mean, you have waterproofing after all. But keep in mind, this is not designed as a winter boot. Even though it's waterproof, it doesn't have any insulation, and yeah, I wouldn't recommend them I would recommend them as a 3-season. But speaking of the hot days, summer days, very nice, very breathable. Even though it is waterproof, you don't really compromise on the breathability because there is that much of padding, and it kind of creates the ventilation on the inside of the boot. So overall, again, for a 3-season, excellent. For mild winters, you can also get away if you want. But let's move on to the criteria number 6, sizing. These are true to the size, no problems with sizing at all. Let's move on to the criteria number 7 now, balance of application. So, if this really was your ultimate survival boot, would this be good for your survival? Let's try to answer this question. Well, I gotta say, my personal preference for ultimate survival as an ultimate survival boot, at least that's what I have, is a mid-size, waterproof boot that is extremely comfortable. That is one of the top priorities for me because think about it, it's a survival situation. You're walking, you're traveling to the safety, you're traveling to meet up with your friends, with whatever, right? That, at least that's how I imagine my survival situation. A lot of walking, and I do a lot of hiking. If you haven't seen any of my hikes or climbs, check it out. Everything is uploaded on this channel. I do quite a lot of stuff, quite a lot of outdoors stuff, just mixed stuff outdoors. I love it. And I mean, a lot of it involves a lot of walking, and obviously whenever you walk a lot, comfort becomes the priority. Obviously, with the comfort, you want something that is lightweight. Obviously, when you're outdoors, you're going through different terrains, you want something versatile. And like I said, for a budget-friendly boot, this is just fantastic option. Absolutely fantastic option. It's lightweight, it's comfortable, it's mid-size, it's waterproof, it has plenty of nice cushioning, it has an excellent outsole, and you know what is really nice about this boot as an ultimate survival boot is that it looks very inconspicuous. You're wearing it around, and they do have a few colors. If you don't like this kind of navy blue, they actually have like an OD green type of boot, which I think are fantastic colors, and I'm sure they're gonna come up with more colors as they go. But you can wear it around town and not look weird. I think that's a huge advantage of this boot right here. And actually, let's move on to the price, which is criteria number 8 here. Like I mentioned, it's $130. It's definitely on the pricier side. But you gotta keep in mind it's a brand new model. It just came out, so the price will go down with 6 months down the road. Check out the Amazon, check out the backcountry. Sometimes they have them on the backcountry. If they do, I will put the link in the description below. I haven't checked myself. $130, there's a lot of competition right now in that price range. From Columbia, from even Salomon, they do have some really nice boots for $130. But, like I said, when the price goes down, and I think it will go down to about $90, $100, this will be hard, really, really hard to beat in that price range. But even in $130, this is pretty impressive. I gotta say, Jack Wolfskin, they're doing some pretty good job. But let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? What do you think about this boot? What do you think about this review? If you have any requests for reviews, drop them in the comments below, and I will be happy to address them. As always, thank you very much for watching. We appreciate your time all the time. This was Ultimate Survival Gear. God bless you all, and I will see you in the next video.